Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Starshine series. Our next guest is Gabby Carlin. Gabby's been a student of mine for several years now. She is extremely talented young lady. She's been in several musicals at the Paramount. She's also been in several musicals of mine, as in Bring It On and Legally Blonde, as well as all my Broadway and Bay shows. And so she's always very, very active in my studio as well, and shooting stars, and she's just busy in my studio all the time. So nice to have you here, Gabby. Yeah,
Hi, thank you.
I'm just my fake audience. Yeah.
Yeah,
So anyway, so Gabby, I know that you were kind of a busy girl before the pandemic. Tell me what you were involved in, what you were doing, and all that kind of stuff, and then what happened when the pandemic hit.
so before the pandemic, I was definitely very busy. Was definitely like rehearsal to rehearsal. I was juggling my academics with extracurricular activities, but that's how I like it.
Yes, of course you like to be
Yeah,
busy. I know you.
yes.
Yes, and so when the pandemic hit, how were you feeling at that time? Like everything sort of like stopped all of a sudden, and you had to be home. So what made you what kept you busy? What kind of things did you do?
Well, I definitely tried to keep in contact with my friends and loved ones and family over social media or FaceTime or even doing like distanced walks from opposite sides of the road and stuff like that.
Yeah, Mac has mentioned that you guys do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's our favorite part.
Yes, well, that's good. You have to connect. That's not normal for us
Yeah,
to be
for
like this
sure.
apart from each other, right? Did you have any moments where you felt kind of down in the dumps, like did you feel kind of depressed or anything?
I think there were definitely some moments because usually I'm very busy and I don't have time necessarily to think as much about things, but I think there was definitely some moments where I kind of thought about things and it made me more upset than I would usually be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. Things are heightened at this point. Everything is
Yeah,
heightened.
for sure.
Yeah, and of course we don't know what the unknown is too. Like every time we don't know something, that makes it even worse. And we start
Yeah,
assuming
for
things,
sure.
and we
Yeah.
build things in our mind and everything like that. Okay, so during that time, so what makes you happy during the pandemic? What kind of things have kept you busy to get you through all of this? Besides
Well,
the distance walking with Mac.
okay. Well, I've definitely been able to spend a lot more time with my family and my house. So, my grandma and my mom and my dad, we've definitely been able to spend a lot more time together, whether it be watching movies or, just talking and playing board games.
Yeah, what kind of board games do you play?
Life and Monopoly.
Life is a good one. I've played
Really
Life
cool.
many times, and I like that one. I've always want to
Yeah.
have lots of kids. And what direction do you always take? Because I've taken both career paths.
I take both. It just
Yeah,
depends.
sometimes you make more money not going to university. Have you noticed
I
that?
know.
What's up with
Yeah.
that? I know. I like the that game. It was actually pretty cool,
Me
and it's
too.
fun to play with people because it just choices, right? All the choices you
Yeah,
have to
for
make through
sure.
that is awesome. Okay, that's good. So out of this pandemic, like this is like time to think and reflect and all that kind of stuff. So tell me something. What have you been thinking of that you'd like to see happen when we get outside of this and maybe come to this new normal that we're going to go to?
Well, honestly, I've learned a lot of things, not only in general, but also about myself. And I think one thing I really have taken away from this is to be more appreciative. And I feel like there's things like daily things that I would take for granted. For example, like going to school or even just being able to go to a public place without like having the fear of not being safe and that you might, or even visiting your grandparents. Like now it seems like such a scary thing that you might be putting them at risk. When before, I feel like that would be something I would take for granted, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And I noticed that's a lot of things that we've come out of here. So a lot of things that we do take for granted. Like we were
Yeah,
just
for
discussing
sure.
how, just lifting a fire ban and being able to have a fire bonfire
Yeah,
was like huge for people and got everybody excited. And we're waiting for announcements for things to open up and say what's going to be next to open up, right?
yeah,
And
for
it's kind of like
sure.
it's like Christmas Day every day.
Yeah,
Like we
it
never know
is.
what's going to come out of it, right? So
Mhm.
that's actually really cool. Like I know to myself that I learned to be more grateful for things because like we say, because this is not normal for us to be apart from each other. This is not a thing that
Yeah.
we have to do for each other. This is
Mhm.
is so not normal. So
Of
I'm
course.
glad that you get to spend time, with Mac to go for social distancing walks and stuff like
Me
that,
too, yeah.
because you need that connection. If you're not, especially your age, like you're in grade
Yeah.
9, and this is supposed to be your year of like the first year of high school and all the social stuff happening and everything like that. And
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
kind of a
And yeah.
bummer. Yeah, but I know that you'll have a gain of appreciation when it actually does happen.
Yes, definitely. It'll feel a lot more special,
Absolutely. And everybody will look at each other differently because everybody was in it together, right?
Exactly,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the best part. Even though this is kind of inconvenient as can be and it's kind of scary in some respects, there's
Mhm,
some lots
for
of
sure.
life learning lessons in this, isn't there?
Yes, there definitely
That's
is.
good, Gabby. That's what we really want from this. So great, great. Thank you so much for this, honey. I
Yeah,
just
thank you.
you're going to be sharing a beautiful musical piece, right?
Yes.
Yes. And I'm looking forward to that. And thank you so much for spending the time and giving us your insight on this whole pandemic, my friend.
Yes,
So
thank you.
love you, and we'll see you soon. Okay,
Love you
sweetheart?
too.
Okay, take
Okay,
care, honey.
bye. Take care.
Bye.